Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before we begin, let me to introduce myself briefly. I'm Fitri, the student of Islamic Education Department of UIN Malang. As you can see on the screen, our topic today is the learning method of Islamic education in early childhood. I will begin by explaining about what is early childhood, and finally, I will explain about the foundation of learning method. My presentation will take about 15 minutes. I will email the PowerPoint presentation to you. There will be time for questions after my presentation. Have you analyzed how modernization affects children? Modern tend to have instant, practical behavior, want everything to be fast. It is not uncommon for this instant system to be carried out without regard to religious moral value and norm. It is necessary to instill strong religious value and norm in this nation, in order not to be easily influenced by negativity of flow modernization. In order for the cultivation of this value and norm to be strong, it must be done from early childhood. For this reason, Islamic education can be learned from an early childhood so that a generation that has strong religious moral and has good moral can be created as teacher and parent. Teacher and parent have an important role in imparting religious education to children. In this part of my presentation, I would like to tell you about what is early childhood. In Indonesia, based on Law Number 20 of 2003 concerning the national education system, early childhood is a group of people aged 0 until 6 years. While based on child education expert, namely group of people aged 0 until 8 years. Based on its growth and development, early childhood is divided into 3 stages, namely first, birth, to 12 months. Next, toddlers, age 1 until 3 years. Next, preschool age 3 until 6 years. And last, early grade primary school 6 until 8 years. Children are born to carry their own nature with their various potential, the physical, psychomotor, intelligence, language skill, and other. All of this will develop ultimately if they are influenced or stimulated from outside themselves, but need to be nurtured or educated, and it's our job, teacher and parent. Let's move to the next point. The point is the variation of learning method, but before that, I will explain about what is method. Method is derived from Yunani methodos, which means the way or the path in connection with scientific effort. The method involves how to work to be able to understand the object that is the target of the scientific concern. So, function of the method means as tool to achieve the goal. While learning can be defined an activity student or parent effort in the teaching and learning process. So teachers use method in developing learning in early childhood, especially on the concept of Islamic teaching. And then, what the foundation of learning method that we can use? First is story method. Educating children using the storytelling method or tarbiyah bil-qissah is distinct feature of the Al-Quran, namely when presenting the story of the Prophet and previous people with the intention of serving as warning or lesson. This method has a great influence on the mind and spirit and improve the intelligence of child to think, because all the story and moral message given will be firmly embedded in the child memory. Next is question and answer method. The question and answer method is how the teacher turns from the subject matter to question and answer. When the student answers the question we give, so the student will hear understand the material that we have provided. It is also train the child to have the courage to argue. Next is giving tasks. This method is a way in the teaching and learning process where the teacher gives a certain task and student to it. Then the task is accountable to the teacher. This method will train children to respond and be responsible for what we have given in the form of text. Next is demonstration method. Demonstration method is a way of learning by demonstrating something. This method will give them practical experience and they will always remember because they saw and heard the demonstration. The example is demonstration of prayer and tayammum procedure. Next is role-playing method. This method can stimulate the learning spirit of students and see all the immediately activity in class. The advantage of this method is that children can be active in class and they practice self-confidence. Example, pray in Jama'ah, Tayammum, and Azan. Next is song method. The song method is very effective method to be applied in teaching Islamic religious education to preschool children, especially in Islamic kindergarten. The benefit of this method is that children will find it easier to understand the material and they will be happy, so they will enjoy the learning process. Next is exemplary method. The exemplary method is a learning method that is considered to have big influence. Everything that was exemplar by Rasulullah in his life was a reflection of the content for the Quran. So Rasul is the best example. Children usually imitate they are see, so that is why must be careful in speaking, acting, and whatever has become our habit. Next is discipline method. The method of discipline is process of guidance that aim to instill certain behavior, certain habit or shape human with certain characteristic. This method aims to instill good behavior in children. Parents and teachers play an important role in this method. And last is game method. For children, games are very exciting and challenging. From them, whatever type of game makes children interest. And now many educative games are developing, including Islamic education material. So of the many learning methods we can use to instill religious learning children, and when children interests are happy to learning it because the education of religion is very important. As I mentioned before, Islamic education can be learned from an early childhood so that a generation that has strong religious moral and has good moral can be created, and also protect them from the negative effect of modernization. I'd like to sum up the main point. Children are the next generation. They will make a change for this nation. So there is necessary to give them religious education to avoid the negative effect of modernization. And in this learning, we can use several methods, such as the story method, question and answer method, giving tasks, demonstration, role-playing, song method, exemplary, discipline, and game method. Whatever method we can use, the important thing is to give them understanding of religious and can apply it in their life, and also they enjoy the learning process. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.